By the way, people often ask me about the United Nations, and they say, well, the Zeitgeist Movement wants to have a global issue. Have you guys tried to do anything with the United Nations? And I would like to say outright that while the United Nations has a possibility of doing something, as it always has, you got to remember what the United Nations is at this point in time. It is a collection of these country representatives, and the country representatives really have only one true responsibility within the global paradigm, and it has nothing to do with their people. It has to do with the GDP and economic viability of their country. And this is why the problems that the United Nations were supposed to take care of and ameliorate, such as sweatshop slavery, atrocious pollution, depletion, deforestation, energy emissions, globalization problems, or economic colonialism is what you should really call it. And of course, the wars, it has failed miserably. The United Nations is a complete and utter disgrace. You could also argue that the intent of the United Nations was to just simply centralize power for the West, and I think there's probably some truth to that too, just like the WHO, the World Bank, the IMF, and all these pseudo-global organizations that, they marvel in their poetry like they're supposed to be encompassing the planet and all the world's people, when they really don't. There's a vested interest across the board. If the United Nations did its job, as it's supposed to do, it would have slammed sanctions against the U.S., England, and the entire Iraq coalition upon its invasion. I mean, it was not sanctioned by the UN Security Council or accord with the UN Charter. Why? Just let it go, because America runs everything. It is the dominant empire. And even the UN can't compete with that, and the people within the UN are not about to step up to the big bully in the room. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because, I consider the UN to be a complete disgrace. While I don't dismiss anybody, you just have to look at what it is, what it was supposed to do, what its points were, and it's just another sad conglomerate of crap that has been polluted by the monetary system and the self-interest of countries, and it will not stop World War III or anything else, especially once energy scarcity and problems continue to arise. So I don't want to belabor any of this, but it's depressing. It's depressing to see what it could have been in a positive sense and getting the level playing field going, but the mechanics of society, the way it's set up, won't allow for such a thing. So I just want to reiterate that.